Good morning, family. Welcome to day 4 of the Live Love Out Loud Challenge. I hope that this video again finds everyone safe, well, and warm. And this morning I want to come to you and talk about affirmations, specifically letters of affirmations, but we can affirm ourselves in so many ways. And so I wanted to share just a few of those ways. I know I've been leaning more towards talking about quantitative research in these videos and leaning towards that in regards to bringing in evidence-based research. But today I want to lean more towards the qualitative side and just talk a little bit more about personal experience. Many of you know that I lost my beloved mother last month. And I was so surprised when my cousin, who I think more of as my aunt because her and my mom were in the same generation, sent me this beautiful handwritten letter. Handwritten, y'all. And the letter just goes on to espouse, she's affirming who my mother was, but she's also affirming who I was to my mother as she witnessed back in the day, my mother interacting with me, her baby girl. And that made this letter so special. And so how many of us today write handwritten letters? I mean, the intimacy, the closeness, the beauty of just knowing that someone took the time to write something out with their hands, and then to have it be such an affirming message. Wow, what a way to live your love out loud to that person. And she certainly lived her love out loud to me as she took the time to write and send this letter to me. So this is precious. This was so thoughtful and so meaningful. But she didn't keep the thoughts in her head. She lived them out loud by putting them on the paper and then sending it to me. And so I just want to challenge you today. Let's kind of do something that would take a little time, but be so thoughtful and meaningful to write a handwritten letter to someone that you care about today. I'm so blessed that the Lord gave me that idea before my mother passed. So over Christmas break, some of you seen that video, I went out and bought some cards. I thought I was gonna mail more than what I did, but I at least got one out where I was able to write to my mother and affirm to her who she was and who our dad was, and just wishing her a Merry Christmas at that time. And I can remember when my brother read the letter out loud to her, she just smiled. And she was surprised that the card and the letter written on it was for her. And so I also think about affirming ourselves. So that's affirming others. But I have a little note, a little sticky note with a little something written, an affirmation, a letter of affirmation written to myself, just to remind me of certain things that I want to remember about who I am and who I am becoming. And so I wanted to challenge you today. Write a letter to someone affirming them. Do it out loud, but on paper. And for the recipient, I would encourage you to read it out loud, because there's something about when we hear the words in our ears that just sticks with us. It's as if the words have now been given life because we've spoken them. And so I don't remember if I did that, but I may have to do that today, to go back and read this letter out loud. If you write a letter of affirmation to yourself, oh my goodness, say it out loud. It's something about when we hear the affirmation it becomes true. It becomes true. It becomes real. So that, beloved, is the challenge for today. Take the time to write a letter of affirmation to someone, affirming all the good qualities that you see in them, affirming the good things that you see them do, affirming them as a human being. And then take the time to write a letter of affirmation to yourself, affirming all the good qualities that you know are there, that you recognize. You may not be fully what you want to be, but recognize where you're at. Love yourself where you're at. And so I would encourage you today, and in fact, it just comes to mind, I have a friend that tells me, she says, Felicia, love them where they're at. So do that for yourself today. Love that person where they're at. Love yourself where you are at with a letter of affirmation. And then as you've written the letter to yourself, read it out loud and make that letter and those words come alive. So that's the challenge for day 4. And I hope that you will join us for the last day of the Live Love Out Loud Challenge tomorrow, day 5, as we wrap this up in order to live our love out loud. So I hope you will tune in tomorrow and join again. All righty. Thank you. And until then, stay safe, stay well, stay warm. Bye-bye.